scoring 3 times in 45 minutes has a funny way of uniting a football club. Football's a fickle game, isn't it? It may turn out that West Ham's victory over Southampton merely papers over the cracks of this divided club. This time, though, there were no scenes of anarchy. Just the impression that, for at least 90 minutes, this club was as one. Who knows, had Southampton taken the lead, then history may have repeated itself, such as the undercurrent of ill feeling towards those that run West Ham from fans. But thankfully for David Moyes and the board, it didn't come to that. 2 goals from Marko Arnautovic and Joao Mario's first for West Ham, securing a vital win in their fight for survival. In the grand scheme of things, this win won't repair the fractious relationship between fans and the club's top brass. But it's a start. For Mark Hughes, though, things are looking bleak. On his Premier League debut for Southampton, the size of the task in front of him was laid bare. Southampton were clueless, feeble in the tackle, uninventive in attack. Everything their new manager was not as a player. If he didn't know it already, many of Hughes' new charges wouldn't have been up to lacing their new manager's boots during his playing days. Simply put, Southampton are bang in trouble. With Arsenal and Chelsea next up, it's hard to predict a sudden surge of improvement either. And as if the afternoon wasn't bad enough for Hughes, the fact Arnautovic did the majority of the damage simply rubbed salt into the wounds. Having worked together at Stoke, the pair were involved in an unsavoury spat when West Ham travelled to the Bet365 stadium earlier this season. This afternoon, Arnautovic had the last laugh. He let his former manager know it too. The Austrian was a monster for his team in this relegation scrap. And while he'll never admit it, how Hughes could do with a player like Arnautovic right now. Mo's answer to those highly charged scenes at the London Stadium 3 weeks ago, which saw home fans invade the pitch and threaten owners David Sullivan and David Gold as the team slumped to defeat to Burnley, was to take his player to Miami. In terms of PR, it perhaps wasn't the wisest of moves, as players were photographed lapping up the Florida sun on South Beach just days after that calamitous display. But judging by his players' performance, it may prove a masterstroke. Indeed, there seemed a togetherness about his players against the Saints, illustrated by the fact every player barring goalkeeper Joe Hart rushed over to celebrate Arnautovic's second. Mo's men started brightly, Alex McCarthy parrying Arthur Masuaku's effort from a tight angle after good work from Michail Antonio on the opposite flank. But Antonio's afternoon would come to an abrupt end just moments later, as he limped off in tears after what looked a muscular injury to his left leg. The attacker, who has been beset by injury problems this season, pulled his shirt over his face in an effort to disguise his emotion. Captain Mark Noble trying to console his teammate as he trudged off in the 9th minute. 4 minutes late, though, Antonio's mood would have improved considerably as his team took the lead. It all stemmed from Mario Lemina giving the ball away to Noble in midfield. 2 passes later, Mario was steadying himself on the edge of the area before blasting past McCarthy. The London Stadium erupted. So did the West Ham bench, Mo's throwing his fists in the air with the grimace of a man who has the world on his shoulders. And slowly the tension alleviated off Mo's men. Arnautovic should have scored just 2 minutes later, firing wide from close range after Noble unlocked the Saints' ragged defence. But the Austrian didn't have to wait much longer before getting in the score sheet. Just a minute in fact, the centre-forward firing home from close range after McCarthy produced a point-blank stop to deny his original header from Mario's cross. Arnautovic looked to be directing his animated celebration towards Hughes, his rift with the Welshman obviously still lingering in his mind. Not that those in the West Ham director's box gave a hoot about any animosity between Hughes and Arnautovic. They've got their own conflicts to deal with. And when Arnautovic volleyed home Masuaku's brilliant pass in the 4th minute of first half stoppage time to complete the scoring, his feud with Hughes boiled over again as the Austrian appeared to direct a verbal tongue-lashing at his ex-boss. This time Hughes kept his cool. Of course, He has far bigger problems.